And a big story, of course, is back to school season because students are heading back to the classroom in less than 2 weeks. But for some students, that classroom is virtual. So joining us now, we have Anna Sawyer. She is the mathematics teacher at Virginia Connections Academy. Thank you so much for joining us, Anna.
Hi, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Happy to be here.
Absolutely. All right, let's just dive right into it. So, why do some parents choose virtual over a traditional classroom?
I would say it offers some degree of flexibility for students. We have many students who participate in extracurricular activities. I've had some kids who played hockey, I've had horseback riders. I have kids who volunteer in the community. I have kids who travel a lot with their families. It just gives them an opportunity to work independently, still have access to teachers, and get their work done. Outside of activities, we have kids who join us maybe for medical issues, maybe they're bullied in class, maybe they're distracted by their peers. So just another way to get the work done.
So, it's that flexibility, really.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Uh, is it becoming more popular? As the years go on, are more students, more, parents choosing to go online rather than head back to the classroom?
I would definitely say yes. I mean, we saw back during COVID, kids got started with it, and our numbers are definitely growing. Every year we have more and more students, and hopefully we'll be able to offer, senior year eventually.
Yeah, you mentioned
Right now
COVID. Let's
we're,
go back to that. Sorry. COVID, did
that's
that
okay.
give you a boost in numbers? Once people kind of got their feet wet and doing everything online, doing everything virtually, was that kind of the moment where you saw a lot more people saying, well, maybe we can just do this all the time, not just because we're in the middle of a pandemic?
I mean, I guess that's my guess. We have more platforms available. We have more resources readily available. We have teachers willing to teach, happy to teach online. So definitely gave it the boost.
That's fair. What do some parents or people, community members misunderstand about virtual learning? Like, what's something that maybe they don't quite get when it comes to virtual learning?
I would say we aren't really a homeschool. It's not a homeschool. We're kind of school at home. Online is a great fit for students who work independently, who manage their time well, who need that flexibility, but they also have that, a learning, like you're not teaching your kids at home. We still have teachers teaching them live lessons. We have open office hours. We have small targeted group interventions. We offer one on one sessions. We're aligned to the Virginia standards. So I guess, people probably think their kids are just sitting reading a screen the whole time, but they actually have access to, live teachers.
Well said. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
So
thanks.
let's get into that. What does a typical day look like for a student who's at Virginia Connections Academy?
Um, so I'd say a typical day is going to be different depending on the student. As a staff, we each have a group of homeroom students that we work with. We help customize their schedules. And we teach them, best practices and routines for online learning. Typically, students have one or two live lessons a day. Um, they can set up their planners so that they're doing one assignment per class per day, or they can kind of chunk their assignments. For example, some kids might want to knock out math on Mondays and they'll get their 5 lessons in on Monday, and then the next day they'll focus on electives and science or whatever other courses. So we help them kind of design what best fits their needs.
Yeah, going back to
And
that
they do full course
flexibility.
loads just like any other kid.
Excellent. Is
Yeah.
it difficult for students who may be in a traditional classroom? Say parents are watching this and they're interested in maybe giving it a try. What's that first week like if you are used to a traditional classroom and then you're kind of going to an online virtual setting? Are there challenges associated with making that transition?
I would say the main challenge is setting up a schedule that works for you and the routine, and then obviously getting to know the platform itself can be challenging. But we do offer tons of learn coaching sessions for both students, parents, teachers. So we're definitely guiding them through some of that anxiety that they have around, the online platform.
How do students socialize? Maybe there's a concern that kids may miss out on just being social. They'll miss out socially, because you're in a classroom, you have your peers, you can chit chat, make friends, say hi. Is that missing in a virtual setting? Are there still classmates there?
So they do still have classmates, and we do, some breakout rooms, that sort of thing. They can communicate that way. But the biggest opportunity for them to socialize is through lunch buddy groups that we offer. So every day they could go virtually and eat with their friends, play games, that sort of thing. We do field trips twice a year. So one first semester, one second semester. Our kids have gone to tour colleges together, the Capitol building. They've gone to theme parks, the caverns, bowling. And then last year we got to bring the STEM bus to our testing site. So after kids were done with testing, they went outside and did some science projects. So just, different ways that they connect throughout the year.
Oh, amazing. Okay. Anna, how closely are teachers able to monitor these kids when they're in an online classroom? Because when I think of kids on their phone, on their tablet, on their computers, how do you know they're actually doing work and they're not on Roblox or TikTok? Are you able to really monitor these kids to make sure they're doing math or doing science, English, whatever?
Yeah, so we do design our lessons so that they're interactive, so that students have to respond to questions live. We do, we can see how long they spend on their lessons. We can see when they've logged in and out. We can see if they're active or if it's just sort of dangling there. So we can definitely monitor them to an extent.
That's fair. But okay, there's safeguards in place. There's
Yes,
guardrails in place to make sure these
100%.
kids are engaged in doing their homework. Before I let
And
you
when we
go,
see that they're not, we're definitely reaching out. We're calling, we're texting. Text message is huge with online. We get those parents directly immediately. So,
amazing. Okay, before I let you
yeah.
go, because I know you're busy, you gotta
Okay.
get ready for the school year, right?
Yeah.
uh, for parents who may be watching this and they're considering making the switch from traditional to online, what should they know before making that decision? What is the big takeaway you want people to have to take from this conversation?
I'd say the big takeaway is that your students are still going to learn what they need to know to be productive members of society. It's just another way of doing it. We are happy to have them. We are teaching them. They're not just sitting in front of a computer. They're actually learning, they're practicing what they need.
All right, thank you. So there you have it.
Yeah.
Online learning becoming more popular, more
Yeah.
parents being interested in checking in and seeing how it works. This is Anna Sawyer. She's a mathematics teacher at Virginia Connections Academy. Thank you so much, Anna, for joining us.
Thank you.
Absolutely. All right, we're going to take a quick break here on Live Impact News. Please stick with us. We have more of the top headlines, top weather. We'll be right back.